Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on today's Lunchbox webinar. On today's webinar, we are going to talk about food trucks, a super fun and innovative way to get those challenging high school kids to eat school lunch. As an added bonus, food trucks engage communities and can help create financial sustainability for the food service program. This Chef Ann Foundation Food Truck webinar, presented today live on May 25th, 2017, and recorded for later viewing on the lunchbox.org, can count towards a total of 30 minutes of professional development for school food service professionals. It'll count for 15 minutes of communications and marketing, code 1400, and 15 minutes of facilities and equipment planning, code 3500. Save the description of this webinar and the professional development codes in your files to help track your progress towards meeting the standards. I'd like to provide a quick shout out to our amazing partner, the Lifetime Foundation, who makes sure that all of our webinars and all of the content on the Lunchbox is free for everyone. Thank you, Lifetime Foundation. So, some quick introductions. My name is Heidi Kessler, the Chief Programs Officer for the Chef Ann Foundation. Running the webinar today is Molly Brown, our Programs and Administrative Associate, and Molly Gallivan, our Programs Manager. First, a little bit about the Chef Ann Foundation. Founded in 2009 by Chef Ann Cooper, a pioneer in school food reform, the Chef Ann Foundation works to ensure that children across America have access to fresh and healthy food at school. Our team's expertise lies in providing operational support, technical assistance, and online resources to affect school food change. By providing school food operators and their school communities with tools, training, resources, and funding, we help schools create healthier food for their students. Our vision is to help schools take action so that every child in every school has access to fresh, nutritious food every day. To date, we have reached over 2.7 million children in nearly 8,000 schools across all 50 states. Here is a list of our key initiatives. We are always focused on reaching schools who are learning how to incorporate more scratch cooking into the day. As part of our efforts, we've given almost 5,000 salad bars to schools across the country. We've given over $400,000 directly to schools to get more fresh produce in the mouths of students, and we've engaged hundreds of parents in school food reform via our Parent Advocacy Initiative. Want to know more where you can get tons of evidence-based, tried and tested resources for school meals? The Lunchbox. The Lunchbox is our online toolkit that provides free step-by-step guides on how to transition to scratch cooking. At the end of the webinar, I'm going to take a few minutes to show you some of the great resources the Lunchbox has to offer. Here you can see the agenda of what we'll be covering today, but before we get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping notes. We have a large group of participants today and are going to try to allow 15 minutes for questions after the presentation is over. Emily will be tracking questions, and we'd like to encourage you to type in your questions as you think of them. If you have any technical issues during the presentation, you can also type them into the questions and answers, and we will assist you. All right, let's get started. I am pleased to introduce Brandy Dreibelbis, who will be starting with Napa Valley School District as the Nutrition Services Director in July. Most recently, she served as the Chef and District Manager for the Boulder Valley School District Food Services. She received her BS in Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism Management from East Stroudsburg University and her Culinary Arts degree from the Culinary School of the Rockies. Prior to moving to Colorado, Brandy was the executive chef of the award-winning Blue Moon Restaurant in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Brandy is the former executive chef of the flagship Whole Foods Market on Pearl Street in Boulder, Colorado. For the past 8 years, Brandy oversaw the production of thousands of meals each day from Boulder Valley School District's 3 regional kitchens. Brandy also ran the very active catering department designed to showcase Boulder Valley's outstanding food and spearhead the acquisition of a food truck and form partnerships with local businesses to create a progressive food truck program for the district. Welcome, Brandy. Take us away.
Hi, thanks for having me as a guest today. First, today I'm going to give a brief overview of the School Food Project at Boulder Valley School District. Then we'll talk about our food truck and how we operate our food truck program at Boulder Valley. At Boulder Valley, we believe that all children of the Boulder Valley School District will have daily access to fresh, flavorful, and nutritious food made with wholesome and, when possible, local ingredients so that every child may thrive. We pride ourselves on being at the forefront of the healthy school food movement in the United States. At Boulder Valley, we have 52 schools. Our enrollment is just over 30,000 students. We prepare 13,000 meals each day, consisting of breakfast, lunch, and snacks. We are heavily involved in scratch cooking, and wherever possible, we are purchasing locally. We have salad bars in all of our schools. We have 3 production kitchens that are strategically located in different parts of the school district, each preparing food for 14 to 17 schools. Each kitchen is structured the same, preparing the same recipes daily. Each kitchen is operated by a sous chef, 2 production cooks, and 3 nutrition services assistants. In addition, we have 1 catering and food truck production kitchen as well. We have nearly 200 staff members, and our ADP has been up in the last five years by 16%. Scratch cooking is the centerpiece of sustainable school lunch programs. At Boulder Valley, we purchased over 50,000 pounds of produce, and we are currently buying from 9 different farms. In addition, we have purchased 150,000 pounds of red meat from a local ranch and locally raised chickens. In addition, all of these items come in reusable bins to eliminate the cardboard in our system. At Boulder Valley, our ADP participation increases are increased from school year 2010-2011 and to 2015-2017. Breakfast is up by an increase of 69%, and lunch is up by an increase of 29%. How we increase participation. First and foremost, by putting out the best possible fresh food consistently. We take feedback from students, staff, and parents regularly. We hold an Iron Chef program annually, and we have a very trendy, kid-friendly menu. Marketing and outreach. We are very active in our community. We are involved in local food events, and we also have many social media outlets. In addition, we also participate in multiple lunchroom education programs, including chef's demos, tastings, and rainbow days at our salad bars. And finally, another way that we increase ADP is through our food truck, fondly known as the Munchie Machine. The idea for our food truck came from the fact that Boulder Valley School District has 5 major high schools. All of our high schools were open campuses. We were really only feeding 15 to 20% of the students daily. Our food truck goes to a different high school each day of the week. We pull the food truck up right in front of the school, so the kids are still getting the opportunity to go outside. They're eating from a food truck, which is super cool and trendy right now. They can access their lunch account through the truck's POS system, but we're offering them something that's a little different than what they're being offered in the cafeteria. We purchased our food truck through a generous donation from Whole Foods Market. Our food truck cost $50,000, and it was found on an ad on Craigslist and being run as a food truck. We spent an additional $6,000 on the design and wrap from the outside. Next, we went to work on the permits and licenses that are required to operate a food truck. Each city is a little different, and you can research your city's requirements on your city's website. Obviously, registration and insurance were required. We obtained this through our school district's auto fleet. Next, we needed a sales tax license and a City of Boulder permit. In addition, we also needed a fire inspection. Equipment. Fortunately, as I mentioned previously, our food truck was being operated as a food truck, so it came pretty loaded. It came with a flat-top griddle, a charbroiler grill, 2 reach-in coolers, a knee-level door freezer, and also a cold sandwich station. I should also mention that it came with a deep fryer, which we promptly tossed away. We purchased a second flat top, a hot box, and an awning for the outside of our truck. Marketing and outreach. I like to think of our truck as kind of a mobile billboard that's out and about in the community advertising for the school food project. The first year we operated our truck, I went to the farmer's market each Saturday, selling breakfast and marketing the food truck. Once school started, we got involved with our high school marketing classes. We held a naming contest, which is how we came up with the name, the Munchie Machine, when we really tried to get the students involved. I met with student groups and we talked about various items from what music we should play on the trucks, uniforms, what type of paper boats we should use to serve the food in, and basically anything that would appeal to the high school students. Social media and branding. The food truck participates in multiple social media outlets. We have a Twitter handle, an Instagram page, and a very active Facebook page with about 700 followers from all over the country. We use social media to post pictures, to run trivia contests, to post our lunch menu, and advertise our food truck's whereabouts. Branding. We've taken the design of our truck and pulled it into all assets of the school food project. You can see the same look on our web page, on our vending machine wraps, and even on our business cards. And this is just kind of a way to tie everything together. We even sell t-shirts on the food truck with our food truck design on the front and logo on the back as a way to bring in additional money. Feeding the students and keeping the lunch lines moving. Quick and happy customer service is the key to this. Another way that we do this is to work quickly. We try to bring one hot item each day that's ready to serve in our hot box. Then right before the lunch bell rings, we load up the grill and the flat top with both of the lunch items so that when the kids come up to the window and tell us what they'd like, we're ready to serve them. Happy kids and good customer service help to increase our participation. The ADP that we've gained from our food truck has not taken away from the inside cafeterias. These are mostly kids that were leaving campuses, and we're now capturing their participation. Our food truck Monday through Friday at lunchtime only sells reimbursable meals. We offer 3 lunch items each day. One of them is always vegetarian. We usually also have something that's gluten-free. And the way we hit the requirements is this. We usually sell some sort of sandwich item as the main entree. This will automatically contain the protein and the whole grain. And then we plate it with a vegetable side dish. In addition, we offer with this a fruit and milk. This way we're covering all of our bases. Some of the food truck's favorite lunch items are sliders, tamales, quesadillas, tacos, gourmet grilled cheeses such as the jalapeno popper grilled cheese, and burgers. Some of these items that I just mentioned are the same items that we sell in the cafeteria. However, we're preparing them a little bit differently. For example, our burgers are cooked on a charbroiler grill. So the smell that comes out of the food truck when we load up the grill is super enticing and draws all of the students over to the truck. In order to be able to sustain our program year-round, we try to be as busy as possible with outside events. In the past, we have participated in Ironman competition, the Hanuman Festival, local triathlons, school fundraising parties, and private catering events. Our food truck is a great talking piece. People from all over come up to me and ask me about how our food truck works, what's the school food project, and what's our tie to Whole Foods. Bringing in revenue from outside events has been crucial to the success of our food truck. We try to book as many events as possible, especially in the summer months. Finances and how it all comes together. Our food truck falls under the catering umbrella. However, we operate it like one of our satellite schools. We have 2 employees that work Monday through Friday. One is a 4-hour employee, the other is a 6.5. It takes a little more time to operate the food truck. There's time for prep, time to drive to location, and to take care of the truck. These 2 employees take care of simple things such as washing the truck, filling the truck with gas and diesel, and minor maintenance issues. These are employees that are great at customer service, they're good drivers, and basically they're short order cooks. It takes a little stronger skill set, so there's more time and labor involved here as well. The unexpected. In the second year, the fire code changed in Boulder County, and we were required to install a fire suppression ANSEL system, which was an additional $5,000. In addition, like all used vehicles, there have been some issues that occurred have occurred from time to time. Sometimes our district garage can handle these, and sometimes we need to send the truck out for minor repairs to a garage that specializes in RVs. The weather. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow, the Munchie machine is out there selling lunch. And in Colorado, we have some cold, snowy winter days, and this can really affect our ADP. On a beautiful day, we can serve as many as 130 kids at lunch. And on a cold winter day, it's maybe more like 60. Overall, the Munchie machine has been a great learning experience for me and a huge asset to the school food project. We've accomplished what we've set out to do. We've increased our ADP in the high schools, we've brought in extra money through special events, and we've increased exposure for our lunch program.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Brandy. It was excellent to get a case study of actually using a food truck and the impact that it's had. A couple of things that you said that I really enjoyed is really identifying this food truck as an alternative revenue stream for the program to increase financial sustainability. I also love the various ways that you've used it to engage your high school students to help them inform the development, the look, and the service of the food truck. And I also loved how you said that your food truck acts as a mobile billboard for school food. Very excellent. So before we get to the question and answer session, I promised to show you all a little bit more of the Lunchbox, our online toolkit. So here you'll see a screenshot of the Lunchbox. In this online toolkit, you'll find usable spreadsheets that you can use to calculate your meals per labor hour, your labor costs, or your food costs. You'll find recipes, information on procurement, and menu cycles for every grade. Our blog, The Lunchline, has valuable information about school food operations, the current political state of school food, and news about the Chef Van Foundation and our grants. The first time you go to it, you'll be asked to register. This tells us who you are and whether you are associated with a school district or another organization. All right, once you register, you'll be able to download and use our tools for free. Let's get ourselves to questions and answers. Emily's been tracking your questions, and we will address a bunch of them now. So, Brandy, our first question is, how do you market the truck to be able to sell food at events outside the district?
Well, one of the ways we've been really successful is, and I didn't realize this until we obtained our food truck, but we have lots of events that come through our schools in the summer. One of our high schools, Boulder High School, is downtown and right in the main part of the city with a large yard. And there's huge events that come through Boulder High School alone every summer, the Hanuman Festival, the Ironman Foundation. So when I started reaching out to them and they realized that we were tied in with Boulder Valley School District and they were using our property, that was kind of a win-win for those people. And then it's just kind of grown through there. We also advertise on social media that we're available for events. And I think most of it has come from word of mouth.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, the next question is, how do you plan for and cover the costs of maintenance associated with the truck?
That's a tough one. And in our original donation from Whole Foods, our original donation was for $75,000 and we spent $50,000 on the truck. So we kept some money in reserve for the first couple of years for things that did pop up. The fire suppression system that I mentioned was definitely something that we didn't expect. We had some money reserved that covered that. We try to use our district garage that takes care of all the district vehicle fleet wherever possible so that we're not having to spend money on an outside garage as well.
Excellent. How much time do children have for lunch and how long do they have access to the food truck for?
Lunchtimes are pretty short in Boulder Valley. I want to say that on most days it's only at the high schools it's between 20 and 30 minutes. We're ready to go as soon as, like I mentioned, we're ready to go as soon as the lunch bell rings, the kids line up, and we're able to feed 60 kids in that short 20-minute period. That's why keeping our menu limited, bringing one item that's already hot, and just kind of loading up the grill so we're not waiting for the orders to come in so that we're ready to serve the kids. We realize that kids, want to go do their thing and they don't want to stand in the lunch line, and we want to make it as quick and as pleasant of experience as possible.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, here's a good operation question. How do you determine how many meals to pack on the food truck each day?
We basically track our ADP from day to day over the last, this is the fourth year that we've been operating the food truck, so we know that, there's certain high schools that do better than others, and we've just tracked those numbers over the school year, so we know how many to bring. Like I mentioned, weather is definitely a determinant here in Boulder. So on a beautiful sunny day, we're bringing food for over 100 kids. If it's snowy and cold, we're trying not to waste food, so we're probably limiting that to about 70 meals.
Gotcha. Excellent. Here's one I don't know if you'll know the answer to. Do you know what kind of truck it was prior to it being a food truck?
It was a food truck. I think it was built as a food truck.
Originally a food truck. Excellent. Excellent. What would you say is the most popular meal that kids get from the food truck?
The most popular meal that the kids get are definitely the burgers that I mentioned. They're absolutely delicious. They're hormone and antibiotic free. They come from a local ranch, and there's just something about them being cooked on the charbroiler grill. Like I mentioned, the smell, anybody who's walking down the street can smell it, and it's definitely super enticing. And at outside events in Boulder, our most popular item is the quinoa burger, which we just developed for all the healthy people of Boulder when we first got the food truck, and we're doing some outside events, and people love that in Boulder.
Outstanding. Well, the Chef Ann Foundation staff was very lucky to actually get lunch from the food truck today. I believe Emily had the quinoa burger. Do you give it an A+, Emily?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a thumbs up. We got an A+ on the quinoa burger from the food truck. All right, another great operational question. Do you do made-to-order items or allow them to modify their order if they don't like a certain ingredient?
Yes, we definitely allow them to modify their order if they don't like a certain ingredient. We have a lot of food allergies in our district as well, so we try to be as accommodating as possible. I mentioned the vegetarian thing. We also have some vegans and some gluten-free people, so we always have some gluten-free bread with us as well. Yeah, and we do, our food is made to order. It's just that limiting the menu helps us keep the lines going fast. So we're still cooking that food to order. It's just by limiting our menu, we're able to get the food out the window as quick as possible.
Excellent. Very nice. So how often does the menu change?
The menu changes daily. We do 3 items daily, and that changes from location to location and day to day.
And to know what's on the menu, is it the same as what they would look at the monthly school lunch menu, or?
No, we are not following the same school lunch menu as the schools. We're doing our own thing out at the food trucks, and we post our menu daily on Facebook.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's right. You said you had 700 followers on Facebook?
Yes.
So here's another question. What do you do if events are canceled?
Well, that does happen, and it is a problem. Just last week alone, we had a freak snowstorm that came through, and we had 3 events in a row that were canceled, and those were kind of last-minute cancellations as well. So, in some cases, we kind of were anticipating by watching the weather that something like that might happen, so we didn't prep as much as possible. And with the food that was prepped, we just tried to use it up the next day at school or the next time we had an event going on. So just trying just not to be wasteful.
That's good. It requires good thinking on your feet to handle that. Excellent. All right, so tell us a little bit about the ordering system. So do you use a ticket system to order, or do they order directly at the window?
They order directly at the window. So when we use the truck for school lunch, we have one person who's basically doing the short order cooking and plating of the food, and the other girl is taking the orders, and the kids are actually punching their numbers into the pin pads. So they're accessing their lunch count. So she's running the POS system and taking the order and handing them their food.
So there's no cash on board. It's all done through a PIN system?
Well, we do accept, the kids do punch in their lunch number ID, so their account is being pulled up. We also accept cash and credit cards on the food truck.
Wow, excellent. Excellent. Is the truck used just during the school year, or is it also used for summer meals?
We do not use our food truck for summer feeding. A lot of school districts do that, though. In Boulder, we just don't meet the requirements for the demographics for using the truck for summer feeding.
Gotcha. So in today's webinar, you talked a lot about lunch. Do you also do breakfast?
In the past, we did breakfast. Last year, we went to a middle school that had a high free and reduced population, and we did a universal breakfast off of the truck where we offered breakfast burritos once a week to the kids. And we struggled with it. Our staff was having to come in for several extra hours, and we really just weren't feeding the amount of kids that we had hoped for breakfast. So this year, we've just really tried to concentrate on lunch and growing our lunch program.
Excellent. It's always good to experiment. How much do you pay your food truck employees versus the regular employees? Is it the same rate, or is it different job description because of the other things they have to do with the truck?
So I do have a different job description for them, but they're being paid the same amount of money as other employees of the school district. One is classified as a production cook because she is actually producing food for the food truck in addition to going out and cooking on the truck. And the other one is paid at the same rate as our nutrition services assistance rate. So both are paid the same amount of other employees in the district. They just have a little extra time that the other employees maybe don't have just because of the extra requirements of taking care of the truck, of driving out to our schools. That's adding extra time on both ends of the lunch period.
Yep, excellent. Is the food served from the food truck required to be compliant with the USDA regulations?
So yes, we only wanted to sell reimbursable meals from the food truck. So the way we do that is we offer our entree that's usually some sort of a sandwich, so it's containing the protein and the whole grain. We are automatically plating that entree with some sort of a vegetable side dish. It changes daily. So we're covering 3 of the 5 components there, and then we offer the kids a piece of fruit and a carton of milk. So we're covering all of our bases that the USDA requires, and we are only selling reimbursable meals. And then in addition to that, we just sell like 2 beverages that are a la carte items.
Excellent. All right. I think we have come to the end of our question and answer time. Oh, we have one more. Do you pay to be at events?
We do not pay to be at events. We choose not to. We technically are a nonprofit, so we choose to do events that do not require us to pay some sort of a sales fee, and we've been quite successful at that.
Excellent. And we had another question slide in here. Are items for your catered events the same options that students get for school food, for school lunch?
In a lot of cases they are. We are serving the same food. We'll maybe serve it with different sides, maybe a little bit larger portions for the outside catered events since we don't have to hit those requirements. Sometimes we tailor our menus for outside events based on what the event is. But yeah, in most cases it is the exact same food that's being served to the students.
Nice. Excellent. One participant says, our local health department makes us take all food off the truck daily. Do you have a commissary kitchen?
So we, like I mentioned in one of the first slides, we have a kitchen that we operate as our catering and food truck production kitchen, and that's where our food truck lives. So all of the food is being made inside of that kitchen, and it's stored there. It's a regular school kitchen. We plug in our truck to the outside of the school there, which is a great benefit because then in that case we are able to leave our coolers on 24/7, which is really nice, and then there's refrigeration on our truck that stays on 24/7, so we're not necessarily schlepping every single thing, in and out. We're able to leave all of our beverages and our condiments on the truck, but everything else comes inside each night.
Good question here about funding. At Boulder Valley School District, you received your funding, your seed funding to get started from Whole Foods. Do you have any insight into other methods of funding, especially when in low-income regions? Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to try to take a little stab at it here. Becoming familiar with the grocery stores in your region is a potential thing to think about. Many grocery stores have their own small donations that they might be able to make to local school districts. Also paying attention to any local or regional or even statewide foundations might be a place to check. And also reaching out to your community and just finding if this is something that your community is interested in and wants to work towards, really leveraging the knowledge of your own community to identify funders. So one last question here is, how many events do you do per year with the Munchie Machine?
I don't have a specific number, but we definitely try to book as many events as possible. And I've really seen that number increase over the last 2 years too. You know, the first year was kind of slow. I was kind of going out and you know, kind of cold calling on different events and different groups. And, you know, we have built relationships with, you know, the events that I've mentioned that come through town, such as the Ironman competition. So we are very busy at the end of the school year and at the beginning of the school year. We do a lot of our elementary schools do school fundraising events, and they hire the Munchie Machine to come out and offer food to the families. So we're really busy in that shoulder season. And then in the summer, we probably do at least 2 events a week. You know, a lot of triathlons come through town. We try to get in with them, and we do private catering events, and just we really try to be as busy as possible to sustain the food truck throughout the school year, because like I mentioned, we do have those lean months in the winter where we're really not doing a lot of business, so it's nice to bring in as much money as we can when we can.
Excellent. Kind of front-loading when necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do this one last question here, which is regarding the equipment inside the truck. So what equipment is the most necessary and useful that you found in your food truck?
So our food truck came with a charbroiler grill, which I absolutely love, and a flat top griddle. We went out then and purchased another flat top griddle, and then realized once we started using the truck that it was really rare that we were using all 3 pieces of equipment like that all at the same time. So I think 1 flat top griddle and 1 grill are super crucial. We purchased a Cambro hot box, which is something that costs probably less than $200. And I love that because it helps us just keep stuff hot, you know, something like pulled pork sliders, you know, we're keeping the pork hot, it can stay hot. Those Cambros only drop a degree an hour, so we utilize that a lot. And then I think the refrigeration, you know, it's hot in the summer and sometimes you're out in an event for hours at a time, so you need some sort of way to keep things in proper temperature, to keep beverages cold, to keep ingredients at proper temp. So I love that we have 2 reach-in refrigerators in ours as well. Ours also came with a freezer, which I don't think we utilize very much, so that's definitely not a useful piece of equipment, I would say.
Excellent. That's really insightful. Good information. A participant offered some nice information that I'm going to share here around finding funding. So somebody shares, we funded through a local community foundation and other partners as a result of the commitment to childhood hunger in our area during the summer. So that's the outstanding advice and direction. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. All right, if folks have additional questions, I want to welcome you to email them to us at info@chefannfoundation.org, and we will be happy to address them there. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time today. I want to offer one last final shout out to the Lifetime Foundation, who ensures that today's webinar and all of our resources on the Lunchbox are provided for free for everyone across the country. Thank you all very much. We look forward to connecting with you soon on our next webinar. Take care.